Yo, it's Rob here from Showdown. Today we're gonna find out if Gojo's solos your verse. Now, as you guys already know, when we do these solos your verse videos, we are always looking at the Madara versus the Shinobi Lion style. One anime character fighting everybody in the verse all at once. How would they end up? Make sure you hop into the Discord so we can discuss whether you guys agree or disagree with my take. Also, quick spoiler warning, guys. I will be talking about Gojo's abilities up to chapter 258 in JJK. So if you are not caught up to JJK manga, please back out the video because I will have to discuss a little bit of what his powers hold. Let's get into it. Thanks to World of Warships for sponsoring today's video. World of Warships is the most comprehensive warships game in history with millions of players. It comes with 12v12 battle arenas, over 500 different ships to choose from, over 40 different maps to choose from, and these maps even have weather changes. Man, these torpedoes were cooking me. This is crazy. World of Warships has also collaborated with Azure Lane. This comes with all new commander voiceover packs with Shimakaze and Fuso, new skins for premium ships, and so much more. Ship classes include destroyers that use stealth and torpedoes, cruisers that deal damage and is an all-around class, battleships that can carry larger guns and can tank damage, and aircraft carriers that can fight in the sky. This collaboration also brings new commanders and skins like Queen Elizabeth and Hornet from Azure Lane. In World of Warships, you can play solo or you can play in a division with a group of friends. World of Warships is available to play free on both PC and console. To start playing World of Warships today, please be sure to click the link in the description down below. Use invite code 6WAVE Azure Lane. It comes with 600 doubloons, 1.5 million credits, and even 7 days of premium account access, plus so much more. Now, this invite code sign-up bonus is only available to first-time players of Wargaming. Again, it's completely free, so you have nothing to lose. I'll see you guys in the game. All right, so first up, we have a post here from Gaga Don't Miss saying, "Cry before Gojo solos your verse." Very, very interesting right now because first up, we have Noelle from the Black Clover verse. Noelle is not crying at all because if we talk about verse equalization, are we going to say that cursed energy and magic are equal or not? Because if we do equate the two, then this is looking very, very problematic for Gojo because of the anti-magic users out there in the Black Cloververse, the arcane magic users out there. You're talking about Asta, Yami, Noct, people of that caliber, even the devil users out there. There's so many people that would be able to counter Gojo's abilities, even Dante, if you're talking about cursed energy and magic are equal. But if they are not equal, Gojo has a little better of a shot. Now, I know the Gojo stands out there are always pointing out that limitless is a very powerful technique because it's hard for other characters to beat the infinity. We get that. If people don't understand what it is, essentially is that when an attack is approaching Gojo, he divides the space infinitely in between the attack's distance and his own body. So the attack approaching his body will always get slower, but it will never end up reaching his own body. But there are ways to counter this, as we have seen in Jujutsu Kaisen itself. If you're able to out-hacks Gojo or attack him with something that he can't perceive, these are ways that you can actually get out of it. I believe there are characters in the Black Cloververse that can do just that. When you talk about characters like Dorothy being in the mix, Asta as well, Yami being arcane, Xena, who was able to wipe out the entire Golden Dawn, Yuno, who was so crafty that in his fight against Zagreus, he was able to actually use Asta's anti-magic alongside his own wind magic. The characters in the Black Cloververse are no scrubs. Gojo would definitely have to use his domain expansion almost immediately upon landing. And I personally believe Dorothy would be the main issue for Gojo because of her dream world. Once you go in Dorothy's dream world, she has complete control, and it is essentially her own version of a type of domain. I mean, Gojo would go into Dorothy's dream world and have to fight other versions of Gojo, and that would just be one of the characters Gojo would be dealing with. So I personally agree with the Black Clover take here. Next over, we have Ichigo from Bleach. Ichigo has a serious face on. He does not look worried at all. Is this the right choice? If there's one thing I could tell you, no red, blue, or purple is gonna save Gojo from Squad Zero. I'm gonna put that out there right now almost immediately. But even if we look outside of Squad Zero, I mean, you have people like Grammy that can literally change reality itself. Then you have Yubak, Yamamoto. I mean, Aizen would literally have Gojo hallucinating, not even knowing where he's at. There's too many characters that have too many incredible abilities in Bleach for Gojo to really even have a chance. Maybe he would knock off some of the fodder in the Soul Society with the domain expansion. We do know that Gojo's blue attracts and that the red repels at twice the damage. But even with that being said, Gojo would need purple almost immediately the moment he gets into the Soul Society. For all the squad captains, even if you want to talk about the Quincy's themselves, I mean, I don't know if we want to talk about some of the low Stern Ritters, but once you move up to Yubak's personal guard, man, We saw the abilities. Some of these Quincy's don't even have to move. They just look at you and your body starts warping. Like, the real question we should be asking is, does Gojo survive 30 seconds in the Bleach verse? That should be the real question. So I definitely agree with the Bleach take here. Next up, we have Haumea from Fire Force. Smiling, not worried. Well, I could tell you that a good portion of the Fire Force verse is going to have an issue with Gojo. But I definitely agree with the take here that the Fire Force verse would survive because you have broken characters like Shinra and Arthur and Benimaru. When you're talking about the top brass of the Fire Force verse, Gojo has no shot, especially if you're caught up with the manga. However, there's a lot of characters that would struggle if they are not there. Because we have to remember, one of Gojo's greatest strengths is reverse curse technique. And the fact that he's able to replenish his reverse curse technique while he's battling is ridiculous, because a reverse curse technique allows you to heal yourself. And Gojo has found a way to actually heal and replenish the energy used to heal himself. It is literally like an infinite wheel of him just replenishing himself constantly in battle. And we saw that in his battle against Sukuna. That would be a major issue in the Fire Force verse for a lot of characters, especially for some of these second gen and first gen pyrokinetic users. They would have an issue because they would rely on manipulating flames outside of their body. The third gen would be okay. I think if you're a third gen pyrokinetic like Shinra, you'll be okay because you can produce your own flames. You're not using something outside of your body. But the others, Gojo's packing up a lot of them. But I definitely have to agree, Haumea should not be crying at all. Next up, we have Naruto. Serious face. Is this the right answer? Without a doubt. Gojo going into the Naruto verse would be very, very problematic, but he would definitely lose. He's not soloing the verse. There's too many characters out there that he would struggle with. There's too many hacks and too many great abilities. He would have to worry about all of these serious genjutsu techniques. And even if you say that Gojo has the 6 eyes, so he'll be able to look through said genjutsu, then he would have to be dealing with stuff like the Kamui. He would have to be dealing with opponents like the Sage of 6 Paths. I mean, there's just too much that he would have to deal with in the Naruto verse for him to really get the W. There are characters in Naruto that have such high chakra reserves that it makes what Gojo is doing with his reverse technique replenishing look light, if we're being honest. Gojo can self-heal with reverse curse technique. Okay, well, Naruto can just give an entire army Nine Tails cloaks to protect themselves and heal themselves. The right answer is that there are levels to this. Next up, we have Deku from My Hero Academia, and he's crying. Now, for the My Hero fans out there, I know a lot of you guys are probably upset with this. Here's the reality. On paper, Gojo should wax most of the My Hero verse, but there are a couple of quirks that need to be brought up that make me question whether he will be able to actually pull it off or not. Now, when you're talking about Gojo teleporting around the place using red, blue, and even purple, I mean, purple literally is one of the most broken abilities that we've seen in JJK, and the fact that Gojo can just pull it off more than once is going to be a major issue. And don't even get me started on the Unlimited Void domain expansion. I mean, half the My Hero verse getting caught in that, it would be raps. But as I was saying, there are certain quirks that Gojo would have to be on the lookout for. Eri is one of them. The fact that if Eri touches you, that she can immediately change your age is problematic. The fact that Star and Stripe can literally alter reality is problematic. These are things that Gojo would have to look out for. He would have to go for the heavy hitters in the My Hero verse immediately. I just think that for Gojo to pull off soloing the My Hero verse, he would need to use domain expansion again almost immediately and hope and pray that characters like Star and Stripe, Eri, maybe even Deku and Shigaraki all get caught into it. Because if they're on the outside waiting for the domain to drop down, we remember what happens in Jujutsu Kaisen. Once you use a domain expansion, there's a small period of time where you are vulnerable. That is an opportunity for the My Hero verse to go in and attack Gojo and make it easy, quick, and simple. So for me, I think this one is a little bit more situational. I could see why people would say Gojo solos a My Hero verse because 1v1, he does clap basically everybody. But when everybody's jumping him, there's certain characters that he would need to catch in the domain expansion. I mean, Class 1A for the most part, you could leave them out. You don't need to worry about them. But people like Star and Stripe, you need them in the domain expansion. Next up, we have Saitama from One Punch Man. He's serious. I completely agree with this take. Clearly, Saitama versus Gojo, you have to go with Saitama at this rate. He sneezed away Jupiter. He was out hacking Cosmic Fear Garo, who was making portals easily, and Saitama was growing at an exponential rate. There's certain things that Saitama can do that Gojo can't do. He moves way faster, hits way harder, and if worse comes to worse, Saitama could just blow the whole planet up sky high. So obviously, I am going with Saitama and the One Punch Man verse winning. Next up, we have one of the most blasphemous takes I've ever seen in such a long time. Luffy is crying. Is this the right take? You see, it's stuff like this, right? Where you guys, for the most part, get upset with me. But it's the reason why I cover things the way I do. 9 times out of 10, when we see posts like this involving the One Piece verse, One Piece characters, they are constantly getting lowballed. They are constantly getting slept on. So somebody like me has to come in and stick up for the One Piece verse. And I'm always caught on this side of the fence. So then I get called the most biased One Piece fan of all time. A lot of people don't understand what the One Piece verse truly has to offer. I'm not here to say that Gojo isn't packing up some characters in the One Piece verse, because he can absolutely do so. There's not that many One Piece characters out there that can heal themselves like the way Gojo can, that can deal with techniques like Gojo can, that can teleport like Gojo can. But I'll be damned if I sit here and say that Gojo can solo the entire One Piece verse. Have you lost your mind? I've been on a record saying this for the longest time, that I believe that Future Sight is one of the best abilities that Haki users have in the One Piece verse. Infinity was an ability that was still beaten in Jujutsu Kaisen. There are JJK fans out there that constantly say that Gojo can't be hit because of Limitless and Infinity, but people in JJK were literally doing that. So then we have to go to, okay, what hacks do One Piece characters have that would give them access to hurt Gojo? We first bring up Haki. Well, Haki needs to make contact with the body, so if Gojo is using Limitless, then it still wouldn't reach him. Okay. We bring up the fact that Ryuo could be used. Ryuo is a technique where you don't need to make contact with the body to affect them with Haki, because Haki is projecting from your body. JJK fans said no, that wouldn't work either, because the Haki is still a form of energy, and energy would still get stopped by Infinity. Okay. You have characters like Law that have the ability to use Room, which is his own version of a domain expansion. Essentially, if we are using verse equalization, JJK fans out there have said probably wouldn't really work either. Okay. So when I mentioned that there are devil fruits in the One Piece verse that have pocket dimensions, Montdoor's Book fruit, Blue Nose Door fruit, Brulee's Mirror world, has Gojo been shown to destroy alternate dimensions as well? At what point are the JJK fans going to say, okay, Gojo has taken L's in Jujutsu Kaisen itself? We've seen how this ability has been exposed. Somebody like Toji, who really should have no business maxing out Gojo, was able to damage Gojo. So you're telling me the entire One Piece verse wouldn't be able to do so? Now again, let's remember something. Gojo wasn't at peak power when he fought Toji. Toji was able to take him down because he had some prep time. But the Gojo we saw fight Sukuna was also powered up by Utahime. These are the things that I feel like the JJK fans have to relax and look at what One Piece characters have to offer. Again, 1v1, Gojo is doing damage to a lot of the One Piece verse. Him jumping in the entire verse with all the One Piece characters coming after him, you're crazy if you think he's soloing. You're absolutely wild. I mean, even from the different devil fruit abilities out there, soul fruit, what? Soloing? Man, this is ridiculous, man. And this is why I'm the most biased One Piece fan out there, because I gotta stick up for One Piece and posts like this. This is what happens. Next up, we have Giorno from JoJo's. He has a serious face on. Do we agree with this? I 100% agree that the JoJo verse is not getting soloed by Gojo, because there are too many broken stand abilities out there. Even if we look at the most recent one that was animated, Pucci's Made in Heaven. I mean, what is Gojo going to do in a situation like that if that ability is able to go off? Now, again, a lot of the abilities that are OP in the JoJo's verse are Requiem stand abilities, but if we're going to give Gojo a power boost from Utahime, then we also have to look at what the JoJo's verse would look like if they were powered up as well, and it would be very, very tough for him to get in there. Even if you want to look at Giorno's ability in Gold Experience Requiem, that alone would make Gojo stop from attacking, point blank period. At Gojo's best chance, it would be a stalemate, but the JoJo verse 100% in my opinion would slam Gojo from the moment he drops down. Lastly, we have Meliodas from Seven Deadly Sins, smiling, he's not worried. I 1000% agree. I know there's people out there that sleep on the Seven Deadly Sins universe. I am not one of them. I've been on the record praising the magic abilities of Merlin and Escanor and people alike, but even outside of magic, there is something called chaos that is reality warping energy. Literally is beyond the magic in Seven Deadly Sins. It is literally so powerful that the god Chaos used it to create the supreme deity of the goddess clan and the demon king of the demon Demon Clan. And when their two magics combined, you get chaos. And chaos has been used by people like Arthur in the 7 Deadly Sins verse. If Gojo pulls up and they want to overkill him, throw out Arthur. He'll warp the reality. Gojo wouldn't even know what's going on before he can even get any type of abilities off. Because even though Gojo has 6 eyes, even though he has domain expansion, even though he can teleport and do all of these things, at the end of the day, he's still a human sorcerer. He would struggle in those types of battles 100%. So I agree, man. Meliodas should definitely be smiling. Now, you guys let me know down in the comment section below which parts you agree with or disagree with. I know the JJK fans are coming for the One Piece fans in the comments. Make sure you guys hop into the Discord so we can discuss more about it. And with that, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.